Hi everyone, in this weekly update, there are a couple things I want to talk about, and as usual, I have my handy dandy post-it note with all the little things that I want to talk about. The first thing is kind of the programming and things related to that, and right now I'm still on the Shaco. If you Google it, Shaco programming, it's the number 29 one, whatever that means, just I guess the first one he had. But with the programming, basically, I stick to what's on the thing and what is programmed in, so kind of a linear progression, but then I add my own lifts and because all the numbers will get chugged out like 213 pounds, like weights you couldn't get normally in a weight room, I will either add or lower the weight depending on how I think it will feel. For most of the warm-up sets or most of the lower, like 60 or 65% of my one rep max sets, I'll just add weight more so than like go lower. But I'm usually rounding, and I think one of the things I can do to make it more based off what I would normally do, where I just kind of go like how it feels based on the previous week, is I can add weight more so than the program, but not go crazy. Like I had 225 yesterday for bench for the top set. I could always add 5 or 10 pounds and then go from there, and it wouldn't be crazy off the program, but it would get me more work if I felt really good that day, or if I get sick of the program if I want. I could have that option to do, and so I like that as well. But basically, the only big changes I'm making to the program is adding more work because the program itself I don't think gives me enough work. I added deadlift work for 2 different days. So I actually did deadlift stuff 3 days this week. Well, four if you count the extra day where I did like Jefferson deadlifts, but I don't really count those as specific deadlift work because I was just messing around with those a little bit. But speaking of those kind of weird lifts, those are some things I want to do on off days to kind of mimic the motion of a deadlift. And I also did hack squats, and so to mimic the motion a little bit of a squat, but just to get myself more work in a different way and to challenge my motor skill ability to learn lifts that I've never really done before, especially for weight. So as I get better at those, I'll probably post a video or two of those. My Jefferson deadlifts don't look too bad, but my hack squats are look pretty rough right now. Although I was able to do 365 with them both, the hack squat looked really bad. Jefferson didn't look too bad, but hack squat looked awkward, and I don't want to be doing a lift that looks bad because I think that's not going to be healthy in the long run. But I also do on off days as well. Olympic type movements, clean and press. We'll be posting a video of that later, and more up to date videos of what I'm doing are on my Instagram. What I do is just post one video a day. Today and yesterday, I actually have posted two just because I had two like really short clips. Later today, or before this video. I don't know when I'll post the other one. But the other video that I'll have today is just my friend Jake deadlifting or squatting 405 with warming up with one failure rep. He came in, I was doing 405 singles. He came in, failed one rep at 405, and then took like 30 seconds off, came back, and then did 405 twice, and then made me want to quit. But he's built amazingly for squats and not so much for deadlifts. I do have that advantage for him that he can squat forever, but deadlift I have him beat. Of course, I have most people beat because I have a weirdly high deadlift. Let's see, another thing that's a benefit of the program that I wasn't really expecting is the mechanic work. Is because you're working at lower percentages, I'm not straining myself or grinding through reps or unable to, really struggling with the weight. So if I'm working, 60, 70, 80% of my one rep max, they're extremely manageable weights. So I'm able to have perfect form and everything. And that's my goal for a lot of things, is to just perfect form. And when I add extra reps or an AMRAP or something, I really want to focus on the continuous motion without having grinding reps and really forcing myself to, go 110% to finish that last rep. I may do that for like a rep, but I'm not going to do it all the time to try to kill myself. I just want to get as much work in as I can to make as much progress as I can. So I basically take the program as a skeleton and then add what I think I need to do in addition to it. Uh, bu- 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 Weight gain. I am up to, as of this morning, 187.2 pounds. So I'm putting the weight back on perfectly. I want to say under 190 and probably closer to 188 under that. So as of today, actually, I'll be basically maintaining my weight. I will probably fluctuate around 187. I may lose weight today and be closer to 185 like I was yesterday. So I want to stay kind of around here. So if I have to make another cut, then it won't be unmanageable. For the meet that I qualify for that's in Las Vegas, most likely won't be doing that because it's just not really, I'm not going to be able to compete with other people there. I'm decently strong, but like compared to who's going to be going there for nationals, it's not going to be a competitive environment for me. And with all the money that I would have to pay to go, although it would be really fun and a really good experience, and it would be nice to go, it's I would only go and like want to get that money together to go if I were going to have a chance to place or to win or to be competitive. But in that setting, I'm only basically going there to have a meet and to put up numbers that I could do in a local meet and have them, mean the same thing. So what Seth and I will be doing is looking for a meet in a couple months. There's nothing set in stone, or I even looked at for anything yet. But we'll be looking for a meet that's more local. I don't know how far a radius will be from where we live, but hopefully somewhere that's not too far. And do another meet like we just did that was close to us, and then go from there, and then possibly do another one at the end of the year in October, November, thereabout. And then really next year, especially, I don't know so much for him because he has his own goals and aspirations and stuff, and he does do the powerlifting stuff, but I don't want to say like, oh, this is Seth is going to be tagging along with me for everything, but excuse me. But next year, hopefully, I am much, much stronger and I am continuing to make progress. And I can get to the point where not probably this next year, but the year after that, so in 2018, I'm able to qualify for the Arnold Classic. I have to look in to see exactly how I can qualify for that. But one of the things I saw on there is a 430 Wilks, which would put my total at like 1411 thereabout. So I have realistically it's not a crazy amount to increase my total by, and all my lifts obviously would have to get better, and I'd have to make a lot of progress and get better at everything. But when I plugged in all the numbers, it was like a 315 bench and a 450 something squat and like a 650 deadlift. There are numbers that are much higher than where I am now, but they aren't like crazy, crazy high where I'm like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to reach those numbers. So I hopefully am able to progress to that point, probably not at the end of this year, but probably in 2018 I'm going to be able to get to that point. And so next year I'll look a little bit when I get to that point as to how I can qualify for the Arnold, because there are different criteria. One of them is the 430 Wilks that I saw, and you have to be like a member of whatever and this and that. So little things like that. So that will be really big for me to continue to make progress this year, and that's really my big goal, is to get to that 1411 magic mark. And I think that's based on like 180 pound. I forget what body weight that's based on, but obviously I would still be trying to compete in the 181 for as long as I can. Obviously, over the years I'm going to continue to put on muscle and stuff, and so that's going to be more difficult to stay down there. And eventually I'll just push up to the 198, but that will be after several years of crazy powerlifting when I just can't cut the weight anymore because I'll have too much muscle, or at least enough muscle to where it's un unreasonable to cut down. And I'm looking down, sorry if I keep looking down, but for my next week, oh, another supplemental lift that I liked, rack bench. If you look at my Instagram as well, you can see me doing some closed grip rack bench. And I really like that because my sticking point obviously is like the point where you get off your chest and your triceps are trying to fully extend. And I want to focus on pushing out that part. And that's another thing I did on one of my off days as well, just to work on that a little bit. And I want to continue to push that because I think that will help tremendously, because that's working exactly where my sticking point is and exploding through it without worrying about getting off my chest. Because that, for me, with even with like 286, if you looked at the video of my powerlifting meet, I was able to get that to the sticking point pretty easily. So that's, I'm not too concerned about. So hopefully that will have some carryover as well. I think it will. If nothing else, it will just help me get stronger. All this stuff is like, if it doesn't do anything else, it'll help me get a little bit stronger. And in the long run, that's going to help anyway. So hopefully, so I guess I could also talk about the goals for the end of the year, since I kind of mentioned that. The 1411, I would be awesome to get by the end of the year. That would be a crazy amount to progress, and it's probably a little bit too much. Right now, I want to get over 1300. In my next meet, I want to get over that 1300 mark. And then whatever amount I get over that, I want to continue to make progress towards that. So it's probably 1300, then 1350, and then 1400 or whatever. But I'm not worried about doing 1411 in my next meet, or even this year, or even early next year. Although it would be nice, and I think theoretically I could make that progress. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm open to it, and I want to work towards that, and not just like, oh, it's impossible, I can't do that no matter what, and not work towards that. So hopefully I'm able to get the lifts, or I'm able to just continue to make progress, and wherever that leaves me, hopefully it's closer to 1411 than further away, and hopefully it's just progress from where I am now. So that's really about it that I have to talk about for this video. So if you have any thoughts or comments about anything that I talked about, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.